When I do reviews or engage in discussions of movies, I tend to approach it from two different perspectives. One of them being simply the aesthetic perspective, which I still think is the most important way to view art. You know, I'm a writer. I'm a former English teacher, maybe a future English teacher uh, as well. Well, once an English teacher, always an English teacher, semper fi. Um, and I think it's important to see art or literature on its own terms and to talk about it as it stands on its own terms, regardless of other societal questions and regardless of the whole notion of the industry and the timing of the release of it and other sorts of similar questions. I think that great art can be composed or can be filmed or otherwise rendered by people who aren't great people, maybe even by people who are really bad people. So, I think somebody, say, working in the Hollywood system, who's maybe sold out in all the worst possible ways, can still be can still be outstanding at his craft. And I feel the same way about writers, poets, whomever. But I have had, in the last few years, I've had a budding interest in situating these movies and so forth as seeing them as ways in which the opinion shapers, the culture creators attempt to seed ideas, because that is undoubtedly what goes on especially with Hollywood, with the entertainment industry, in general, with music and movies, and probably to a lesser extent books, because people don't really read so much anymore, unfortunately. But I wanted to talk about the movie The Invitation, which I just saw last night. I think it is a really good movie, a great psychological thriller. If you're interested in, a movie that really builds up tension in a way that doesn't seem contrived, where the tension more or less flows from the situation at hand, as opposed to what so often happens, where they just try to inject things here or there, with jump cuts or whatever, silly little tricks, cheap tricks. There's none of that in this movie. It's very Hitchcockian in that sense. It's also an interesting movie insofar as what it's about and what it presents to us. I think ultimately it is a vision of a Hollywood apocalypse. Now, it doesn't seem to be that way at first, and I don't want to give too much away about what takes place in the movie, because there are twists and turns, and there are things that since I am recommending the movie, I don't want to spoil it for people. But it does take place in the Hollywood Hills. There's a very early shot of the main character and his wife or his girlfriend or significant other, whoever she is, driving together in the Hollywood Hills, and there's we very conspicuously see the Hollywood sign, which I hiked to a couple of years ago and recorded a video there that was unfortunately lost to the world now because of YouTube censorship. But anyhow, the film situates its characters very much within the milieu of Hollywood, very much within the milieu of Los Angeles. These are people who are a part of the Hollywood system in one way or another. One gathers, or many of them are, and the entire film takes place over the course of one night, and it's a dinner party in which the hosts of the dinner party, the people who own this enormous ornate house in the Hollywood Hills, they have a secret agenda that they are wishing to bring about through this seemingly, informal get-together, where they've invited a bunch of their friends, and one of the people that they've invited, the main character, the hero of the movie, is the man who used to be the husband of the woman of the house, who's now remarried, and this man, the hero, and his ex-wife have a tragedy that they endured together. So there's already this tension of visiting this old house that they used to live in, where they suffered this family tragedy together that tore them apart. What more can I say beyond that? It becomes more and more obvious that there is some kind of a cult, some cultic thinking at work, and again, without giving too much away, the hosts are the ones who have this kind of agenda. And again, what I find most interesting about it is, or one of the things that I find really interesting about it, is it depicts these very, largely vacuous types of LA people, mostly all very pretty people, and very authentic seeming to the culture, but it shows how beneath the veneer of the facade of wealth and beauty and glamour, there really is this darkness. And this is a night in which the darkness is going to, in this very occultic sort of way, is going to engulf the veneer of, as I said, beauty and glamour and wealth, and it ends up not being limited to the household in which the entire movie is set. So, being very vague about all this, but I wish you would see it. I recommend seeing it, and then I think what I will do is I'll give you all a chance to see it, and then I'll do another video maybe in a week or so, which will include spoilers, and I'll tell you all what I think. I wish I could, if it's one of those things where I wish I could do a live video again, but I can't do that yet because I haven't amassed 1,000 followers yet. So be it. I'm c'est la vie. I'm not someone up here saying hit that like button and subscribe and punch that bell and all that crap. But I do. It is something where it'd be kind of nice to have it be an interactive thing. But I recommend it if you're interested in a very unique picture of a Hollywood apocalypse. Subtle sort of rendering, but very in the end, very powerful and very entertaining, in a very tense sort of way. So, see it and judge for yourself. Let me know what you think. My name's Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.